Does it work? Ooh.
I think I started recording. I don't want to go check because I'm lazy.
And you're scared?
No, I'm just lazy right now.
And you're scared.
I'm just lazy, John.
You're a scaredy cat.
Okay.
Ooh, the lights just flickered over there.
No, they didn't.
Yeah, they did.
Cheers to another podcast together.
Cheers.
All right, welcome everyone to another episode of The Sarah B. Show, and my extremely annoying guest I brought with me today, this child, a.k.a. my boyfriend, Jonathan Ramirez.
Hello.
Back again. People say they like when you're on here. I think they're just being nice, though.
Probably. They know I'm special, so they have to be nice to me.
Wow. You are pretty special to me at times. Also, you're sitting in a tiny chair. Oh, just a fun fact about this chair, by the way. It is broken. So as you're sitting in it, it will slowly start going down. And so you're going to get shorter and shorter as you're sitting here talking to me.
I'm aware. That's happened every single time I use this chair.
Oh, that's so funny. Anyway, guys, well, we were going to do this podcast last week, and we ended up not doing it.
Did we get in a fight?
I don't remember. I don't think
that's
so.
Why.
I think you just said you didn't
I had to go to my family's house.
That's right. He had family in town, and they watched the Cowboys game. How did that turn out, by the way?
Shut up.
I'm sure tomorrow night will be much better.
Yes.
Yes. Although when people are hearing this, it'll be Tuesday. So right now is obviously Sunday. We're talking about the Cowboys game that will be happening on Monday night.
Woo!
Yippee. Who are you guys playing?
I don't know. I don't know.
What a fan.
I haven't looked it up.
What a fan. You know, fair-weathered fans are so funny. Just like Rangers fans, Texas Rangers are finally in the playoffs again. And now the people that never cared about them before are like, I got to watch the game. Like this guy right here to my left.
Congratulations.
When it's my team is playing this evening, and he wants the big TV.
Who are they playing?
The Bills, and we're going to get our asses spanked like we have every game. But we'll see if Barkley is back, and Daniel Jones is kind of injured, so as if we needed any help being bad. So I will talk shit about my own team. You don't have to.
I mean, it's pretty easy.
Oh, okay. Dookie Prescott.
Interesting.
Thank you. Anyway, we did not start this podcast to get in a fight about football, so maybe we should continue on. This podcast is going to be about something very scary, and that is The Exorcist. We finally saw the original, both of us, because John had never seen it either.
Correct.
So we are going to talk about how it was to watch that, and we also went and saw The Exorcist...
Believer.
I was thinking Reborn. Believer, the new one that just came out in theaters. So we will do a review on that as well. And so that's what today's podcast is going to be about. We were going to do a top 10 or top 5 like scary movie thing too. But we're like, you know what? We'll milk this a little and do that next week for you guys, like right before Halloween.
Yeah.
And so there you go. We were also going to watch another scary movie this weekend, but stuff happened. So basically, I watched the movie by myself for the first 30 minutes on Friday night.
She was trying to prove she wasn't a weenie.
I was, and I got really, really sleepy, and then I fell asleep.
She almost said scared.
I did. We were drinking Jack and Coke Zero right now, so we're a little buzzed. Sunday fun day, am I right?
Hell yeah.
So anyway, I watched the first 30 minutes of this movie by myself, and I was falling asleep. I turned it off, and the next night after we got back from a wedding, we were both pretty toasted, which was last night. We tried to watch it again and started falling asleep, and I stopped it at the same exact spot. So I've seen this new scary movie that we just got twice for the first 30 minutes and then turned it off. It's called It Lives Inside, and it's like an Indian scary movie, and it's cool. And it's really good for the first 30 minutes.
So far, yes.
So far, it's good. So we will update you on how that is next week on a different podcast. But in the meantime, here we go. Let's get down and dirty with The Exorcist.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. The holidays mean more travel, more shopping, more time online, and more personal info in places that could expose you to identity theft. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, their U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it, guaranteed or your money back. Get more holiday fun and less holiday worry with LifeLock. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
So we finally watched the original Exorcist, which, like, again, for 35 years, I've been like, I'm avoiding this movie at all costs. As you guys know, I even put a poll out on my podcast on Spotify if I should win. Yes, we know you love polls. If I should watch it or not. And it was like 70 or 80% said yes. The other percentage said no. But either way, I probably still would have not watched it if I was too scared. But I watched it. We watched it together. And I feel like what helped me a lot during this movie was my phone.
Yeah, you used that as a crutch.
I did. And I think that's okay.
God. The first 45 minutes of the movie, you weren't even paying attention. You were looking up stuff on your phone.
I was looking at Amazon shopping and...
so I think you need to watch it again by yourself in the dark.
I think you're crazy. That's never going to happen. And also, I could do the first 45 minutes. I will say, like, the first hour of the movie was really boring. It was, like, nothing happened. And I even kept telling you, like, this isn't so bad. This isn't very scary. And then that first part where her eyes rolled in the back of her head and she was like, I was like, oh my effing God, are you kidding? I was, like, so scared immediately.
What a weenie.
And what did you think? You weren't scared at all the entire movie?
No. Now, granted, like the way that I grew up, everyone who watched that film kind of said the same thing, that stuff started happening to them after they watched the movie. It's a bunch of hooey, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of the stuff that happens to people is mostly mental, just like everything
possible.
else.
I mean, the mind is a very powerful thing. That's why even back in the day when people were, quote unquote, possessed, like the Catholic Church, other people would not do anything. They would think it was just a mental thing, that they weren't really possessed. They were just making themselves think they were, kind of thing.
Yeah, I agree. But for me, I feel like this movie was built up a lot in our heads because everyone said, don't watch it, or, you know, it's going to be bad, or it's got crazy stuff in it.
It's cursed.
There was nothing crazy or weird in it at all. Like, honestly, we've seen scarier movies that were like had weirder or crazier scenes.
That is true. That's kind of what made me feel okay about this, because we've watched like all the movies, all the scary movies, and I would say like The Conjuring, The Nun, Annabelle, those are pretty freaking scary, especially The Conjuring. To me, that's probably one of the most scary possession movies there has been.
Honestly, for me, I think it would probably be Hereditary.
Well, that's not really a possession movie.
It is and it isn't, I guess.
Witchcraft. Yeah, I mean, definitely Hereditary is more scary to me than The Conjuring, but just straight possession. God, we sound like such nerds right now. Oh, they're the Hereditary, the straight possession theory. We're freaking movie nerds. I love it.
I would like to submit This Is the End into the conversation for possession movies.
That is not happening. Jonah Hill. Oh my God.
That's a great movie.
The way he gets possessed was a great scene.
It was pretty funny.
That's your jerk material.
Interesting. Not at all.
But anyway, back to the possession thing. Yeah, I feel like, first of all, I would love to have your parents on here and interview them about, because they said they've seen a lot of stuff. Didn't they say they even helped out with a possession before, or like an exorcism or something?
I don't know if they helped out with it, but they were.
There was somebody in their church that was possessed.
Yeah.
I remember your mom telling me the story, and I think I kind of was like half listening because I'm like, I'm gonna have nightmares about this. You know what I mean? Like I was so scared with her even talking about it.
Yeah.
But it would actually be really cool. It would be actually really fun to have them on, and we could all be here together. That'd be so cute.
You can ask her about it.
Okay. I will. She might be like, I don't want to come talk. It'll, curse me. But that was another thing. Like, again, everything is mental, and like a lot of stuff I tell myself helps. And one of the things I kept telling myself is like, okay, everybody said how crazy this movie was and how many bad, evil things happened on the set and to the people that were in the movie and after, and like how awful it was. But then I'm like, if it was really that bad, like they would not have come back and done a second and a third, like,
and a fourth.
And yeah, right? Mm-hmm. Linda Blair, right?
Yes.
I kept saying Linda Carter.
Good old Wonder Woman.
Get the demon away. Pew, pew, pew. But anyway, Linda Blair would not have come back and, done all these other movies. So that kind of helped me as well. Now, I will say for especially that being like a movie back in the day, like I'm sure it was so scary back when it first came out, especially, There was never anything else like that having happened. And I don't know, just like that head turning scene. That you laughed at that. That freaked me out. That look on her face, and it's so creepy. It was creepy.
It was creepy. I guess I could see where it would be creepy, like if you had never seen anything like that in a movie before. I could see how that would be creepy. But
so you literally didn't think any of it was...
It looked really fake to me.
And that's why you laughed.
Yeah.
And that's why your dad says you are the devil. Because
exactly.
Nothing scares you.
Yeah.
So you literally, out of the entire movie, there wasn't even one tiny part that made you like even a little creeped out or scared or anything?
No.
I see. So you could be at home by yourself, watch it in the dark alone?
Yeah. I watched Hereditary by myself.
That's crazy.
For the first time, I watched it by myself in the dark.
Well, we will definitely talk about Hereditary on the next podcast because I think that'll, no matter what list we do, I have a feeling that's going to be number one for both of us, but we'll discuss that on the next episode.
Yeah.
And if you guys have not seen that in the meantime, go see it so you'll know what we're talking about when we talk about it next week. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
So as far as the original Exorcist goes, if you, for example, did like a top 5 or top 10 list of like best or scariest movies of all time, would that even fall on there?
It would be in the top 10.
Yeah. I think it has to be just because of all the legends behind it and all the stigma, you know what I mean? It just kind of has to fall there.
Yeah, I guess I don't know if I would necessarily say just because of that.
Yeah.
But it was actually a pretty good scary movie. I wish, and we'll go into it later, but I kind of wish that they would have gone a little bit more into why or how she got possessed, you know? They just kind of hinted that she used a Ouija board, and that was pretty much it.
That is true, actually. Like, 100% true, now that I think about it. Like, she didn't even talk. She just said, the Ouija board. What was the guy's name? Mr. something?
I don't
Mr.
even
Funny
remember.
Bones, or I don't know. I don't remember. But you are right. It's like, is that how she got possessed? Because of that?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And then,
really
like,
weird.
what did the beginning of the movie have to do with anything? Like, he was just out in Egypt, I guess, or Iran.
I guess they were trying to,
and
like...
he found this artifact.
Yeah.
And then the demon statue with the demon boner.
That was kind of funny.
And then it's like, what does that have to do with anything?
Yeah, I really don't know either, because I'm like, maybe that demon followed him, but he didn't go to that little girl. He came later.
Yeah.
It's just very weird.
Very strange.
Maybe we should Google this later. I'm interested.
I will say the movie is based on a book. So
is it?
Yeah.
Okay. But you're right. I guess I didn't even put any of that together. Again, I was trying to zone out during this because I didn't want to get too scared. And I was okay, but there have been, like, last weekend when you went to your families to watch the game, I definitely was thinking about The Exorcist, like, the whole time while I was in bed by myself. Like, please don't let my bed start shaking or moving up and down.
Wow.
So, anyway, yeah, so decent movie.
Yes.
Not that scary. I say that. I can't say that. I would still not watch it alone or in the dark or anything, so I guess I'm just a pussy. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be, but it was still pretty bad to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess we will now move on to the reviewing of The Exorcist.
Believer.
Thanks, because I forgot again.
Streaming now on Peacock. Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie are back.
That's hot. Loves it.
For a show-stopping reunion that will prove putting on an opera is anything but simple.
We're really good at this.
One thing's for sure, they won't be upstaged.
Good to have you back. Come on, we've got a show to do.
Paris and Nicole, The Encore, a 3-part reunion special. Streaming now, only on Peacock.
The wrongs we must right. The fights we must win. The future we must secure together for our nation. This is what's in front of us. This determines what's next for all of us. We are Marines. We were made for this.
All right, so we went to see The Exorcist Believer last week. Now, I did make the mistake at first of being like, oh, the second Exorcist, not realizing there'd already been like a second and a third and maybe a fourth, or is this the fourth? I don't know.
There's been a lot. So, I mean, there's
yeah.
been a second and a third. There was like a prequel.
Mm-hmm.
There was Exorcist Beginnings, and then there was another movie called Dominion, I believe.
Okay. Yeah, so I did make the mistake. People corrected me, just so you know. And I'm like, okay. This one, though, like I said, I was in Oppenheimer, and this preview came out because it was specifically only in Oppenheimer, this Exorcist preview at first. And I remember I was high, which makes movies way scarier for me. And I was just like, oh, my God, like, why did I just have to see that? I've been my whole life without even watching The Exorcist. Now I had to watch that preview. It was so scary. But I was also concerned about this movie because, like, working in media and, like, working in radio, something you will see, or just, like, a tidbit for you guys, like, if you see a movie being pushed like crazy, like, so many promos, so many previews, like, it is being shoved down your throat, that's usually a sign that this movie is going to be crap. Like, they are pushing it so much that it's just, like, it's just not doing well, or it's just not, you know, going over well, and they're worried about it. So that's kind of how it was. Didn't you say you went to see the Canelo fight, and that trailer came on, like, every commercial?
Yeah, it was like every other commercial. The trailer came on.
Yeah. So I was concerned that it wouldn't be great. But then again, that's not always the case, because, again, like Top Gun Maverick, Lex and I were talking the other day about that, and that one was shoved down our throats, and that movie was actually really great. Which I would
it was
actually
actually
like
really
to rewatch that on our big OLED now.
Yeah,
That'd
I'm
be cool.
excited. Let's do it.
John.
That was not me.
It was. That's
That
disgusting.
was courtesy of Sarah Morgan.
That was definitely a boy burp.
That she sounded just like her mother right there.
Interesting. But anyway, so should we give a, like, spoiler alert, or not really yet?
Yeah.
Okay, because there's only one thing I do want to talk about in this, so I'll just say, like, well, first, before we give you a spoiler alert, I'll just say, like, I would say personally it's a decent movie. Definitely go see it. If you like scary movies and if you're a fan of the original Exorcist, I think it's worth seeing. What do you think?
I agree.
Yeah?
I enjoyed the movie. I had my own little picadillos with it, you know, things that I'm kind of, even now, like, what, but why kind of thing.
But you would recommend seeing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a decent scary movie.
Now, that being said, we'll tell you spoiler alert now.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Error. Turn your radio off or whatever you're listening to, because we're going to spoil some things for you. So, spoiler alert, and 3, 2, 1. Okay. John Wick dies. Inside joke for Lex and Terry listeners there. But anyway, so, okay, the movie was really good. I will say, this is why I want to do the spoiler alert. I thought the cool thing, and I think it's cool that they were able to keep it secret for so long. But then again, it could be because this movie is not doing well at all. It has barely made any money. I think they put like $400 million into it, and they haven't even made like hardly anything on it. And the weird thing too is, like, when I was going to the theater websites and looking for opening weekend, every theater was empty. Like, you could get any seat you wanted. And as a person who, like, thrives on going and looking at movie theater seats and seating charts and seeing, like, what's taken, I want my perfect seats every time. Like, it's never like that. But every theater, there was, like, nobody buying tickets to this, which I thought was really weird.
I think it's kind of par, mostly because of what we were talking about with the first movie, just like the stigma that's associated with the movie.
You think people were too scared to
and
see it?
I feel like a lot of people were way too scared to see it.
So people like our age and older were too scared, and maybe Gen Z doesn't know the stigma behind it and hasn't heard of it?
Correct.
And just didn't care?
And I mean, just think about, like, the preview that came out during Oppenheimer. Like, it was pretty gnarly. It was pretty intense.
It was.
And unfortunately, that was pretty much the gist of the movie right there in the trailer.
Yeah, that is also true.
But yeah, just, like, think about it. Like, the scariest part of the movie was in the trailer, unfortunately, but, like, a lot of people aren't going to go see, like, a super scary movie in the theater.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends that are really into scary movies, and a lot of them don't like seeing them in theaters. And lately, I've kind of understood that, because, like, when I went to see The Nun 2, I would like to rewatch that, which we haven't downloaded now. I would like to rewatch it, because when I did go see it in theaters, like, there were so many people in there talking, and so many people laughing and eating and, like, standing in the corner and running around. Like, it was so distracting. And to me, I love that scary movie where you're, like, watching and you're, like, forget to breathe and your heart's racing, you know, like, that's the fun for them to me. Like,
Sarah likes to be the one that's eating or talking or standing in the corner.
I hate you.
Distracted.
Yes, I love 100%. To stand in the corner. Nobody puts Sarah in the corner.
Except herself.
Except herself. Anyway, I get distracted really easily, as I do have, like, ADHD, I believe. So, anyway, thanks for the disses. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
But,
that's what I'm here for.
And like I said before, I also get scared in the theaters just because of all the shootings and violence and crazy things that happen.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like that's more scary to you than the actual movie.
Yeah. I'm always like...
It's a completely unfounded fear, by the way.
What do you mean?
Like, of a shooting or something happening in a theater.
You think it's not...
I mean, I know that it happens, but, like, to think that you're the main character in that movie where it actually happens is...
I'm not thinking. There was literally a shooting at the State Fair of Texas last night.
Okay, well, that's
in the
because
food stands
that's
area.
because they're idiots.
Yeah, I'm just idiots are everywhere. I don't think that's like the only thing I think about is like, would this happen to Addison? But look, they all happened in random places, like, and they've happened a lot. I don't think that's really that.
I've only ever heard of like
far-fetched.
one.
Well, I do the trending for my show, and I see them all the time. There was even one like a couple months ago. I can't remember which one, and nobody really got hurt. I don't think, like maybe one person got shot, but still, it happens, and it's scary. But there is a security guard now at this theater. Weird. You know, if that doesn't happen all the time, why would they have an armed security person at AMC theaters?
Because they see
Amazing.
Sarah Morgan walking in with her fucking bag
Kiss
full of
my ass.
gummy bears and her own popcorn.
Okay. I've never brought my own popcorn. I do bring my own candy, which, by the way, you can never have any more of because you're talking a lot of shit right now.
Oh, trust me, my parents take in the whole movie theater. My mom takes in like a bag full of pickles.
A bag of pickles?
And candy.
She also takes her own ranch to Wingstop.
That's true.
To Buffalo Wild Wings.
Yeah, they have crappy ranch at Buffalo Wild Wings, so they go and they stop at Wingstop and get a thing of ranch, and they take it with them.
It is understandable. Like the
It's
Wingstop
delicious.
ranch is better than every ranch, like ever. It's so good.
Yes.
Wow, we really got sidetracked talking about ranch dressing from The Exorcist. But okay, let's get back to it. But again, I totally understand why people don't want to see it in theaters. There are a lot of distractions, and if you want to be really scared, like kind of seeing it at home is scarier. Plus, it's like that home setting where you're done with the movie, and now you're like looking around your own home, like, ooh, I'm scared. It's just so fun being scared, kind of.
Yeah.
Until your mind takes it too far. Like
yeah, like yours does.
A lot. He. But yeah, so
sometimes I like messing with you.
Cool. What have you done stuff before you even told me about?
If I have, I don't remember what I've done, but I'm pretty sure I've done some stuff.
Cool. Thanks.
He.
Anyway,
like yesterday when you thought that you didn't turn on the fan, but you actually did.
You turned it off?
Yeah.
You're literally making me think I'm going crazy. I even made a comment about that. I said I went out there to turn the fan off or on, and I got distracted by a Kit Kat. So I ate my candy instead, and then I was like, oh, I forgot to do that.
Yep.
God, you're a dick. Like, what's the point? You're just trying to make me think I'm losing my mind?
Yep.
Nice. Oh, gosh. Well.
Welcome to Truth Time on the Sarah B. Morgan podcast.
Yeah, what is it about a podcast that makes you want to tell the truth all of a sudden?
I don't know. It's hilarious.
God knows it's the only thing.
God
knows. God, dude.
Okay, let's get back to The Exorcist.
I know. I feel distracted. I can't find my way back into this. Okay. So it was a good movie.
Yes, it was good.
It started off. It was almost like loosely, kind of like the other one. Like, how did they get possessed? But it made me laugh kind of because I was like, I feel like it was like a dig at like people that are Wiccan or like witchcraft or things with crystals and candles and things like that. It felt like a dig at them. Like basically, if you like this kind of stuff or you're into it or believe in it, then you'll get possessed. But then it was also ironic and funny later that the ultra super Christian man that was like, save our daughter, like their daughter ended up dying. So like the overly Christian man like ended up losing in the end,
Yeah.
So I kind of evened it out, I guess. But that's basically how it started was she was trying to contact her mom. They went to the woods. They had crystals and candles. And then all of a sudden they just disappeared for 3 days and no one could find them.
Yeah. There's literally, that's my main thing with the movies. There's no explanation.
I know, and I would have liked to have more about how they got possessed. To me, that's what made, for instance, The Conjuring so scary, is because, the possession, the whole, process of it was in the movie, and you got to witness it, and that was so scary to me.
Yeah, and maybe that's what they were going for, because kind of like the same lines as the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
There's no explanation as to why they got possessed.
Right. And in this one, it was even more of a stretch than the first one as far as, them getting possessed. Because, they finally find them, and they're like, oh, we found them. And they were acting normal. And then all of a sudden the next day, they're like, ah! It was like there was no, process at all. It was flip a switch, and there we go, possession. Let's do it. It was kind of stupid. But I don't know. And I'm like, why were they both possessed? And then in the end, why did they have to pick one of them to live? It was just kind of, dumb.
Yeah.
I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they wanted to do more with it, but they were trying to keep it all within a 2-hour thing.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wasn't that into it.
It was a good movie, but as far as scariness, I personally wasn't scared. Now, I will say there were a couple moments where there were obvious jump scares.
Mm-hmm.
And those are oh, weird. kind of take you back moments. But
yeah, and even me, like, again, I'm the biggest pussy ever, and it didn't really scare me. I thought it was a pretty decent movie. I liked the storyline and the idea of it, and the special effects were really awesome. They were pretty wicked looking.
Yeah.
But as far as scary went, like, I thought the first was definitely scarier. This one to me was just kind of like, meh.
Yeah.
I think I could actually watch this one by myself.
Really?
I don't know, really, but maybe more so than the first.
Okay, we'll test that theory.
No, we don't have to test it.
We're going to test it.
No.
You said it. It's on the
I'm
podcast.
not testing it.
It's on the podcast. You got to
Okay.
do it now.
So how would you rate this one then? You think people should go see it? Yeah.
As like a 1 out of 10, like 1, don't go see it. 10, you have to see it. I'd say maybe a 6.
Oh, that's better than I was going to give it maybe. Oh, no, maybe about the same, 5 or a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of right in the middle.
Wait till it comes out and
Yeah,
then
I would say maybe don't go see it in theaters. Like,
No.
rent it on something.
And again, it'll be a rewatch. There's been movies that we saw in theaters that like we didn't like the Conjuring 3, correct?
Yeah.
I believe it was, and we did not like it at all, which is so weird to me, but it could have been the same thing, distractions in there, kids in the theater, because we watched it again at home and it was so good, and we both were like, how did we not like this movie?
Yeah.
Now, I don't even think I could make myself have to sit through this god-awful movie again, and I really pains me and kills me to say it, but Insidious, The Red Door was the most god-awful movie, and I love those Insidious movies. Like, I'm obsessed.
I would give it another watch before I pass judgment.
It was so boring.
It was just, yeah, I agree. It was a lot of lead up.
Oh, to nothing.
Yeah.
It was so boring and long and just like nothing happened.
Yeah.
It was an awful movie.
Fucking Dalton.
Stupid ass, big ass baby Dalton. Oh yeah, it was so bad. So anyway, yeah, definitely go watch The Exorcist Believer and let us know what you think.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we were wrong. Maybe we're kind of desensitized to scary movies.
That, and I was going to say, maybe I like really hyped it up so much in my head, which I definitely did.
You did.
So maybe that was my own fault.
It is your own fault.
Damn it, it's just my own fault.
This episode is brought to you by Skinny Pop Popcorn. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Oh, so light and crunchy. Skinny Pop Original Popcorn is the snack you've been searching for. Made with just 3 simple ingredients: popcorn kernels, sunflower oil, and salt. Snacking never felt or tasted so good. Perfectly popped, endlessly delicious. Give yourself permission to snack and pick up Skinny Pop Original Popcorn today.
But yeah, I mean, there's other scary movies that we haven't seen. Like, I've never seen Hellraiser.
I've never seen Hellraiser. I've never seen Rosemary's Baby.
Never seen that.
I've never seen The Omen.
I've never seen that.
So there's some definite classics that...
That's the weird thing to me is, like, I haven't seen the classics, but I also feel like when I see the classics, I'm not nearly as scared of them as people, like, make it out to be.
No, and I don't know if it's supposed to be a scare thing or just, like, a legendary, like,
yeah,
movie kind of thing.
It could also be, like, a time period kind of thing. Like,
yeah.
Like, you know, these movies came out during a time when people didn't get exposed to things like that versus now, like, I can literally look up something on the internet and see a dead body if I needed to.
It's so true. You're right. The world is a lot crazier now than it used to be.
Yeah.
So I think they have to try harder to make us feel things, which is sad.
Yeah, kind of weird.
But there are some older movies that, to me, like, the whole just way it was filmed and everything is scary. Like for example, it's not something I'd like look around in my room and be scared of under my bed, but Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original, had this just vibe about it, you know, that was so creepy. And maybe it's just being raised in Texas, like,
maybe,
but just like the super darkness out there.
I just couldn't get past the guy in the wheelchair. He was so annoying.
Whee! Oh wait, maybe I'm thinking of something else. Is that Deliverance? Didn't he do something like that?
I think
so. What was his
yeah.
name? Oh my god, his name was even annoying.
I don't remember.
Okay,
I haven't seen Deliverance.
Neither have I, but I mean, everybody knows the wee wee scene. We have that downloaded. We just have never watched it.
Correct.
By the way, let's see. Texas Chain. It wasn't Gordy. People are probably screaming at the let's blah blah. Like we don't know yet. Okay, talk amongst yourself.
But yeah, I think that was my main thing with Texas Chainsaw Massacre was just that guy. It was a good movie. It was a good movie.
Look how he looks even annoying now.
Yes, he does.
It is so creepy.
He looks very
just
annoying.
kidding. I'm sorry, he died.
That doesn't mean he can't look annoying.
Rest in peace. His name was Paul Partain. He was born and raised in Austin, Texas. Born there, died there.
Good for him.
He died in 2005. How old was he? Let's see his death. From cancer. That's so sad. He was born in 46 and lived till 2005. I'm sorry. Why are you acting annoyed? I want to know. I was like, what, 50?
You just brought the whole thing down.
59 years old.
Damn, it's pretty young.
I know. Well, cancer, I guess.
Yeah.
But he was Franklin, and that was an annoying-ass character.
Yeah.
But yeah, just the whole costumes, the timepiece of it. I mean, the fact that it's like loosely based on a true story, quote unquote.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, it's just super creepy to me. I thought the vibe was super creepy. I really like that one.
Yeah.
But like watching Friday the 13th the other day, the original was just like, oh my God. This
That was
is
so boring.
so
Oh my
boring. It was
God.
so bad.
It's like we were just waiting for like an hour and a half or something to happen, and finally everything happened in the last 10 minutes.
And it was like still, it's like this old lady with her like bob hair or whatever, her giant like bushy hair with her, I'll kill you. Like, bitch, this girl can run way faster than you. It was just so dumb. But again, it could be like back in the day, they weren't exposed to crazy people and the violence like that. So like, what are you doing? You know, like,
yeah.
I don't know. You're right. Man, how cool would it be to get like a time machine? I would say a time machine and like go back in the day and watch these movies back when they were supposed to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
But our brain would still be in this like decade or whatever time period.
I would watch Interstellar again.
Okay. Why does that get brought into every damn podcast that we do?
Because it's a great movie,
Next
Sarah.
podcast, you're not allowed to.
Okay, first of all,
bring. Oh, here we go.
I had
knew this was
one
gonna come
request
up.
for my birthday,
I did a lot for you for your birthday.
and it was to watch Interstellar.
That was, I said, we can watch any movie you want. I granted you that request. I said, this is for your birthday. I will order your, or I said I was going to cook you dinner, and I ordered you extremely expensive pizza from Goldbelly, from Prince Street Pizza.
It was great.
Yeah, whatever.
I appreciate that.
I'm sure you do. And so I got us that. I made us pizza, and we could watch Interstellar. Now, what happened? We got sleepy.
Yeah, we got sleepy.
Because it's a freaking 12-hour-long movie.
Also, we ate a giant pizza.
We ate a giant pizza and had alcohol.
Yeah.
And then watched a 12-hour movie.
This was her plan all along.
Oh, my God.
Fill me up with pizza. Get my belly nice and fat with pizza and alcohol. And then
so I don't have to watch the whole thing.
And then she doesn't have to watch Interstellar.
Now, I told you I thought it was better this time watching it. I did.
And yet we haven't finished it.
Oh, my God. We can finish it tonight. It's 7 o'clock.
Nope. Rangers are playing
Nope,
tonight.
we're watching it tonight. It's the only time I can watch it. I'm sorry. Make your choice.
Nope.
All right, so there you have it. The Exorcist was good, decent. I'm glad we saw it. We should definitely watch, I don't know, some more of the classics, maybe.
I would like to watch maybe the prequel to The Exorcist.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, if you're listening to this, let us know if the prequel is worth watching. Let us know about The Omen, Rosemary's Baby, and what was the other one we said? I don't remember. But let us know about
Hellraiser?
Hellraiser. That one to me just kind of looks boring. Isn't there like a new series of the Hellraiser on right now as well, too, I believe?
Yeah, it's got the girl from Sense8. That was Nomi.
Yeah, Nomi. It looks pretty decent.
But, yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. All right, guys. Well, I hope that was interesting for y'all. Us just like basically fighting about things on the podcast.
You loved it.
I did love it. But in the meantime, we have to get out of here. We'll do another one next week about the top movies. Maybe we'll watch the rest of It Lives Inside. Which
yes.
God, this podcast is all over the place. I don't even think I said the name of the movie I was talking about in the beginning that I watched till 30 minutes in.
I think you did.
I said it's an Indian movie. I don't think I ever said it's called It Lives Inside.
Oh.
But that's what it's called. So we will finish that and do a review on that as well. We'll do our top, maybe top 5?
Top 5.
Our top 10?
Top 5.
We'll see. Scary movies.
If we do top 10, it's going to be really hard to like.
It's already going to be hard for me, and I'll explain why on the next podcast.
Interesting.
I just feel like there's so many categories within horror. So, yeah. Anyway, I just wanted to say thanks to everyone who voted for me on the Faces of Horror
Continue voting.
challenge. Yes, continue voting. It starts again. Actually, by the time this podcast comes out, the voting will be open again. I don't have high hopes that I'll win. Second place person got ahead of me, and I barely made it through this round. And that was just like
thanks to you guys.
A normal person, if that makes sense. But like, I know a lot of people I'm going to be going up against now are like in radio, in media, have a like million followers on Instagram and TikTok, and it's going to be difficult. But all of you that voted, I saw a lot of you paid for votes, which was so amazing and so sweet. That money, once again, does go to the B Plus Foundation, which is a great cause that helps people fight helps their families fight against pediatric cancer.
Is it B plus or B positive?
I think it's B+. Are you making a joke?
No, I'm genuinely asking.
It's a plus sign, so I don't know if it's B+ or positive.
I would think it would denote like a blood type.
I don't know,
like
John.
B positive.
Well, either way, that is kind of catchy and cute.
I'm a B positive that I'm correct.
Oh, God. I'm never... Actually, next week I'm going to be alone doing this podcast. I just get scared in here talking about scary movies myself.
Yeah, I remember you told me about that last time you were here by yourself.
Stop, John! Stop! Don't bring that up. I'm serious. Please stop.
Okay.
Anyway, thank you guys for listening. I'm going to kill my boyfriend.
I'll haunt you. Oh, I would haunt you so hard.
Oh, would you?
I would. Make things move around you on purpose.
Cool. It's a great story. Like the movie Ghost. Would you push a quarter?
I'd push something.
Do pottery together?
Nope. Pot, maybe. Ghost pot.
You'd smuggle my pot.
Yep.
Where did it go?
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you can go to sarahbshow.com and you can listen to all past episodes there. Has all my social media there as well. Do you want to give out your Instagram?
No.
Okay.
It's private.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening. We appreciate it. Until next time. Thanks for listening to another episode of The Sarah B Show.
I'm going to haunt the fuck out of you.